So I'm recording now. This is the lesson about quadratic formula, kind of part 2. We did it on Friday. I don't know if you remember, but I was nice and decided not to give you homework over the weekend. Gave you the weekend off. This is that topic where we stick those numbers, A, B, and C, into the formula. Unless it's on topic, don't ask. Okay, so you can talk to Mrs. Nolan if you need to. You can get up and ask. All right, so A is here, B is here, C is there. I would like you to put the numbers in the right spots in this formula. You don't even have to multiply them all out, just stick the numbers in the right spots, and we'll see if you can make this now into a big add-subtract problem. I'll pause for a second while you do that. Okay, let's see who's got it right. You should have had...
Farm on your side. 3.
Yes, that's a 3.
Yeah.
And then where's the other spot where there's a 3?
Over there.
Where the B is. Yes, that's a 3. And the A was actually what? 2. Good. And then the C was -4. Do you remember me telling you that the place most people make the mistake is where? You forgot. Oh, you remembered. Underneath the root. That's right. Underneath the root, and you know why it's usually a mistake? Because they screw up the 2 negatives. If we have 2 negatives, like in this case, do you get that changes it into an add?
Yeah.
All right. So a lot of people goof that up. All right. This one would be 9 plus, because there's 2 negatives, 9 plus 16 times 2 is 32. 9 plus 32 underneath the root.
9 plus 32, that is 41.
41 is correct, and that would be the square root of 41. So this would be 3 plus minus the square root of 41 all over 2 times 2 is 4. That's your answer, and I wouldn't expect you to go farther because you don't know what the square root of 41 is. Nobody does unless they memorize it just to be a smart aleck or whatever. All right. Don't interrupt, please. All right. So a typical question for today asks you, first of all, what A, B, and C are. That makes it super easy. All you got to do is just pick out the first, the second, and the third one. The first number is always A, second number is B, third number is C. Stop distracting him, please. He's distracting me. Stop it. Okay, so if I give you this, -3x squared plus 2x minus 1, you'd know A and B and C, right? You get that? All right. What does this part tell you again? We went over it. What if it's positive? Do you have this written down yet? This right off the test. What if it's positive?
I don't know what you mean by this.
If it comes out to a positive number, b squared minus 4ac, then there's 2 solutions. What if it comes out negative? What if it comes out negative? There's no solutions. You should write these down because they're not just going to like be something that you know off the top of your head. Positive is 2 solutions. Negative is no solutions. And what if it's 0? There is 1 solution. You should write those down. Now I'm going to pause for a second and see who's actually got them written. Okay, I was happy to see that almost everybody had them written down. I think there was only 2 people that didn't. So, in this case, do you get my B would be 2 and I'd have 2 squared minus 4 times A is -3 times C is -1. Where's the tricky spot? Right there. Know why? It's got 3 negatives. If it's got 3 negatives.
If it has 3 negatives, it's no solution.
Pay attention to what she's saying.
No, you need 4 solutions.
All right. If this has 3 negatives in it, then are we going to add or subtract? Just guessing. What you do is every time there's 2 negatives, they cancel each other out. Do you get that 2 of these negatives will cancel and make a positive, but there's still 1 left? It is a subtract. So this would be 4, and because 2 squared is 4, and then 4 times 3 is 12, it's minus 12. 4 minus 12, is that going to be positive, negative, or 0? That's going to be negative. -8 to be exact. And that means there's how many solutions? No solutions. And if you haven't got that written down, you should write it down. All right, now we're going to try one where you actually put it in the quadratic formula. Are you ready? X squared minus x minus 12. There's a couple tricky ones in there, but there's an A, there's a B, and there's a C. I want you, if you have to, you can copy it down from a previously written down formula. Could you stop dropping? That's the third time this hour. Okay. Would you please write down the quadratic formula? If you have to, copy it off your paper from earlier. And stick the numbers in the right spot and figure out the answer. I'll pause or retry it. All right, I think some of you had forgotten this. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. There you go. I'm going to pause it again. Put the numbers in the right spot, calculate them down. All right, one of the students came up and wrote this, and it is right. I do see one little thing, and it gets people every time. This right here, you got the negative 1, but the b is negative 1, so it's a negative of negative 1. Do you get what I'm saying? It's actually positive 1. All right, there we go. And then let me clean it up. 1 plus minus square root of 1 minus 4 times 12. Ooh, that's really big.
48.
Yep. And yes, there's 2 negatives, so should it be minus?
No, positive.
Should be plus all over 2, and then
49 divided by
1 plus and minus square root of 49 divided by 2. Good. I'm going to pause for a second while you get the 2 answers from that. Okay, let's see if you got it right. 1 plus 7 divided by 2. 1 minus 7 divided by 2. What did you get for the top one? 4 is correct. Did you do the bottom one? What'd you get? That is correct. 4 and negative 3. Raise your hand if you had that right. A couple. Oh, you had some of it right, some of it wrong? I'm seeing some mixed answers. Okay. All right. Look at what you did. The main thing is try to figure out what you did so you don't make a mistake again. All right, one more like that. Let's say we get done with this big problem and it looks like this. 1 plus and minus the square root of 25 all over 3. I'm going to pause for a second until you figure that out. Okay, let's see if you did it right. I hope so. It's 1 plus 5 over 3 and 1 minus 5 over 3. Did you get 6 over 3, which is 2? Raise your hand if you had a 2. And did you get negative 4 divided by 3, which is a little icky, but you would say it's negative 4/3.
Yeah, I got that.
Raise your hand if you had that one right. Good. Then you found what are called the solutions, the roots, the zeros. They're so important in higher level math. This thing we just did, finding the roots of a quadratic, that they deserve one more minute of explanation. It's where the graph touches at the x-intercepts. Those spots right there, that's what you just found. By using the quadratic formula, it'll tell you where it hits. Those are more important even than this spot. That spot's called the vertex. But the most important spots are where it hits. If it's got a negative under the square root, it means it didn't hit. Remember how I said it wouldn't have solutions then? If it's got a negative under the square root, it didn't touch. But if the parabola touches like this, it'll give you 2 answers. And those things we just found are the spots where it touches. All right. So, all said and done, a typical question will give you an equation. I think by now you get this. That A, B, and C are found there, and there. And then there was the little shorty equation, B squared, what was that? Minus 4AC. And that was called starts with a D? Discriminant. The discriminant. And if that thing's positive, there's how many answers? Positive is 2. Negative is 0. Because you can't have negatives under the square root. And if it's equal to 0, then there's how many answers? 1. Okay? Bigger than 0, you get 2 solutions. Less than 0, you get no solutions. And equal to 0, you would get one solution. All right, then the last thing is the whole rest of the quadratic formula, which is x equals negative b plus and minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. There you go. If you got that down and you can put the numbers in it and simplify them down, you have one of the tougher concepts in algebra. And here comes our worksheet. I'll pause for a minute while I hand that out. So on number 2, I've written it on the board here. First thing you got to do is just find A, B, and C, and it's so simple. A is 4. What's B? Negative 2. What's C? That's all there is to that part. Cool. We're done with 3 things. D stands for discriminant, which is that thing. What is it again?
That thing.
What thing? Nope, not that thing. This thing. All right, that. Okay, so now go ahead and take B, whatever it is, and square it. I like to do the skeleton equation like this. It's got the bones, the rib cage. You can drop the stuff in. Okay, go ahead and do that for b squared minus 4ac. You know what b is. You put it here. It's right there. Okay. This is number 2. It says number 2 right here. All right, and then A is 4, and then C is negative 15. Now, I totally get you will need a calculator at this point, so I'm going to pause for a second. You know why? It's 16 times 15, and I doubt many people can do that. So I want to pause for a second. Okay, so this did turn into 240. Nice work, somebody. And then that 2 squared is 4. That makes it 244. That's what D is, 244. Well, this part was 240, you said, right? And there was 2 negatives, which makes it positive 240. Goes with that part, which was 4. That makes it 244. Okay, now the question is what that tells us. That tells us there's going to be how many solutions? If it's positive, you could look it up on your list. Positive, there's 2 solutions. Yes. So there's 2 solutions. What are the 2 solutions? That's where you stick the numbers into the quadratic formula. Now, they've got these weird little things on your sheet that have like an empty spot where you can like partially fill it in. Do you get what's happening there? That's where B goes. And this is the 244 because we already figured out that b squared minus 4ac part. Focus. These numbers, put them in on your sheet. And lastly, it's all over 2a, and the a here is 4, so I'm putting a 4 there. Which part don't I have yet? I'm missing something. What's that part? Negative b. Very good. So the b is what? Negative 2. So I put it negative 2. Wait a minute. There's 2 negatives. Negative 2. Positive 2. So it's 2 plus and minus square. Actually, plus. You know what? They have them separated into 2 separate things. I like to just say plus and minus square root of 244 all over 8. And you do not need to go further because nobody ever asks you, hey, what's the square root of 244? What they would expect you to know, higher level math, is 144. You know what the square root of 144 is? 12. Very good. All right. Okay. So that was number 2. Your assignment for tonight. And don't like cross off the other ones because we're probably going to do them at a different date. But for right now, why don't you just circle these? You're going to do 2. You're going to do 4. I suppose we could do it that way. Number 6 and number 8. So just circle 2, 4, 6, and 8. Those are the only 4 you have to do. They're kind of longish problems, and so we'll make it a small number of them. All right. That's all I got for you for tonight.